I think this game is the first of 4 in a row that are like it, and so we have to be ready for this game and every game, because they're most of the time they're all the same. We've got Argyle out of the chute, which is the game of the week in the state, followed by Paris, who scored 42 on Argyle last year, who held us to our season low on points last year, as well as played us tighter than anybody besides Carthage. Then we go to Silsbee in Carthage, and they've gone to the Final Four 3 years in a row, and then we play Carthage, and it's a gauntlet of a schedule. But you know, our kids know iron sharpens iron. It makes us better. It prepares us for the playoffs. It prepares us for state runs, so that when we get into big moments, the kids aren't swallowed up by them. We've been in several of those before, and that starts this Friday. And if we're in condition where they can play the whole game, there's not heat elements, it's later in the season, I think we have a better shot to ultimately win the football game. And our goal is still to win it. For us to do that, we got to have our dudes, the Landon Jacksons, the Nick Martins, Cam Weekleys, Torrey Phillips. They have to be out there the whole game. If you go from a Division I talent down to a guy that looks like me and is an average guy, Argyle swallows average teams up. And about 85% of their games last year, they score over 60 some odd points. And so we need our dudes out there the whole time. We need our best players on the field, and that's a tough task. I mean, it's a tough task for Landon to go full tilt against the #1 tight end in the state of Texas, and then go over on the offensive side and destroy great defensive linemen that they have, because they're ranked #2 for a reason in Division I. But that's what we have to have. We need Nick Martin to get more than 3 carries in a game. And it's just tough in week 2, because you know the load hadn't been on their legs yet, and Argyle's bringing in 81 guys that they can throw in a fresh set of 11 on each side and a few backups on each side, and then their special teams aren't even played by kids that start. So they got bodies they're running in, and we're running in weary bodies, but our guys are up for that challenge. That's how we win. So the gates open at 6:30. I wouldn't recommend coming at 5:30, 5:45, or people are going to be standing on top of each other. The biggest thing we have to be cognizant of is the UIL sent out emails to every school in the state. They called some schools personally and said what we're seeing in pictures is not going to get it done. So if this doesn't get cleaned up, we're going to shut down fans first to the game, and there'll be no fans, just like the NBA type of deal. And then the second thing is then football gets shut down. So we have to do our part. We have to space people out, and our districts, you know, setting up our stadium to space people out, but people have to honor those boundaries. The second thing they have to do is they have to wear their mask the whole game. And it's hot and it's humid out there, and somebody gets comfortable and they're like, man, I made it through the gate, I got in this seat, now I can do what I want. But how many cameras are going to be on this game, Argyle and Pleasant Grove? We got a game day feed that's going out to all of our fans. We got Fox Sports Southwest here. We've got national media and state media coming in. We're going to be seen. And if we're seen in a light that's not favorable, there won't be fans at Carthage. So we just need to make sure we're spacing out. Once the stands are full, we're usually going to put people in the berm, and they can spread out there. And that's an awesome environment. It's not awesome this week when it's raining 3 days before Friday. The water does run off there. It could possibly dry out enough, but if it doesn't, you know, there's a ton of standing room only that goes around. So I would ask men to stand up there and space out, get a buddy or two, and then space out from others and kind of watch from that rail area. But yeah, the parking is going to be completely different this year. Everything behind the scoreboard is going to be for visiting fans only and media. There's going to be a media check-in. If a home fan comes to the backside of the stadium, they won't be able to enter that way. So home fans only enter from access from the tennis courts up top. Booster Club will park on the other side of the indoor by my office, in between my office and the Showstopper gym. They'll walk through the sidewalk to get up there and enter at that point. After the game, no fans are on the field. Actually, we're going to call up our football players like we usually do, circle up and visit, and then the coaches will escort them off the field. And we'll have about 3 or 4 that are left down there for media that'll do interviews, and they'll get to take their time doing those. But the fans will have to go out the tennis court way, so that exit that they came in. And I think that's important to know. That way you don't get confused and drive around and come to an entrance that you can't get in. Lastly, it is an online ticket system. You need to have a picture of your ticket with the barcode that they can scan it, or paper. UIL prefers that you just show your camera so they can scan it without touching paper, but you can print those off. If you don't have that, the ticket takers, the ladies, are going to have to look your name up in the system, and that's going to back the line up. So make sure you at least get a photo of that ticket, and once that ticket's scanned, it becomes dead. Nobody else can use that picture. Yeah, we're extremely excited to be back in Hawk Stadium. It's been a long time coming. We get to do it in the game of the week for the state against a great program in front of our fans, which is really important. So come out, be respectful of the guidelines, and get on your feet and cheer, and let's have a great night.